Hi, welcome to the Crates Motel. My name's Conan. In today's video we're going to look at the drum effects which are hidden away in the program edit pages. Let's jump in. So I have a bunch of sounds here and a drum loop. The drum loop is from Crates Motel Volume 2, which is available at our Bandcamp page, so go and check that out. So if we go into Program Edit, normally when you go into Program Edit you start with Global. If you go right to the end, the second effects page, you will have the drum effects, and you can see these apply to each different pad, and you can use these effects in conjunction with your normal slot effects. So let's go back into that again. Now, although you have 8 different effects here to be able to apply to each different pad, there is actually 14 to choose from, and you can click on it like I just did, or you can scroll through them. Also, they run in order, so whatever you do with the first one is going to then run into the second one, into the third, fourth, fifth, sixth and so forth. Now that's really useful. For instance, let's say, okay, we've got a kick drum and I want to really clip, add some saturation, turn it right up, and then I can use the gain to compensate. The gain actually only attenuates, it doesn't boost, but the reason for that is because a lot of these effects are boosters as such. They boost the volume of whatever you're running into them. You can then put the gain straight afterwards and attenuate. So you could have 4 different, you could add some tube drive, then attenuate. You could add another clipper, attenuate. You have hard clip, soft clip, you can attenuate. That's what it's useful for. So for instance, I've really oversaturated this kick drum, and this is the kick drum before and then afterwards, and as you can see, I've used the gain to compensate. So we'll just run through the effects that you've got at your disposal quickly. Ring mod is an odd sound. It might be your cup of tea, it might not be, but it's, can do some pretty crazy things with it. Gain, like I explained earlier on, is for compensating, so you can reduce the level. Bit crush and decimator are my favourite. With decimator you can get a really nice kind of 12-bit sound. You might have seen that in another one of my videos where I do actually quickly demonstrate this. So round about 3 it starts getting kind of, start getting that kind of lo-fi ring sound that's famous on things like the SP1200. And then you can take the bit rate right down as well. Okay, so we've got that kind of sound before, afterwards. Let's get it really, there we go. Okay, so let's just take that back to the start. We also have, let me see, we've got ring mod, bit crush decimator. Tube drive is exactly what it says. It gives you a nice saturated sound again. Doesn't really affect the gain, which is really useful. Soft clipper, like I explained, hard clipper, low pass, really useful. And a high pass, equally as useful, especially on drums. If you want to clean up your drums using, like say hi-hats for instance, you want to get rid of the low end, you can just use the high pass in here and it's going to save you having to use one of your effect slots. And rectifier is another kind of special effect type sort of thing, which is really good for lo-fi. The bass tight, mid and wide, I'll go into those in 1 second. Wave folder, another special effect. And then finish on gain. So let's go back to these 3. So as far as I can work out, they basically boost the low end, and the tight, medium and wide is the cue. So with tight you're boosting a very isolated area of low end. Medium and wide, there's a lot of oomph, and it's really, really nice. So you're not going to have to use an EQ or anything. You just want to boost the low end on your kick drum, for instance. mean, that's makes such a difference. And I'm not using any of my effect slots before, after. So if you go into medium, you can hear it's slightly more isolated, and tight is a lot more subtle. So I think that it's the Q. It might not be. It might be a different area. Tight could be really down low, like 40 Hertz. Medium could be 60-ish, and wide could be 80. But I think it's got to do with the bell shape that you've got on there, and the wider the curve, so it's obviously affecting a lot more low end. But that's really nice. And it sounds really good on samples as well. So let's just take this sample here. Very, very quickly, with just one knob, I can add some real lo-fi grit and boost the bass. And I've not used any insert slots whatsoever, any effects on any of my slot, the 4 slots that you have for the pads or the programs. I'm just using this here. That's without. So you can see really quickly you can dial in some really, really nice low end and some lo-fi effects. And that's, you know, for me personally, that's what I tend to use it for. The clipper's really, really nice to use in conjunction with the gain as well. I use that quite a lot. Soft clipper, hard clipper, not so keen on that. Tube drive, not so keen on that. But you know, now it's subjective. It's just what I like and what I don't really like. Now, another really, really cool thing about it is it's super easy to automate. You know, you can literally, say for instance, let's take a low pass filter. Alright, so I think I've got this looped. Yeah, I have. So if I go back into Program Edit, turn on automation, see how quick that was. You know, super easy. Let's get rid of that. So you can automate all of the different controls as well, so you can have some real fun with that. But another thing you can also do is if you go into the grid, what you can do with automation is you can actually choose, if you go into Add New, take the pad, go into Parameters, go all the way down, and you can choose which drum effect. So the low pass was on 6, so if I choose that, I can now just draw in I mean, obviously that was really, really quick what I did there, you know, so I wouldn't do that actually like that, but you can see how quickly you can, you know, just automate the effects super quick. So there you have it. Now, before I did this video, or before I do any video, I do a lot of research and I kind of look what else is on YouTube, you know, what else is written about it in reviews, etc. And there really isn't that much on drum effects. You know, I know that people are aware of it because I've seen people talk about it in forums, but you know, I'm not saying it's secret because obviously we know it's there, but it does seem to be that people are perhaps not using it as much as they could, and you know, perhaps they haven't really dug into it and realized how quickly you can get results with it, how quickly you can automate it, you know, and how much you can do with it, not just from a creative point of view with filters and that kind of stuff, but actually when you're mixing, you know, using low pass and high pass in mixing, using the bass, the low end, using the lo-fi controls, and you know, again, like I said, you're not having to touch the 4 slots that you have on individual pads or in your programs or anything like that. So they're still freed up. And it also seems that the CPU is really, really low on them as well. So you've got all those effects on each individual pad. Now, the only thing that I will say, the only disadvantage, and I'm not really, please correct me if I'm wrong here in the comments below, but when you're in Program Edit and you say, for instance, you want to adjust parameters on everything in the program, you can click on all in Program Edit, and then when you make a change, it will affect all of the pads. But it seems to be that you can't do that with the drum effects. I've tried various different ways from the Program Edit, from the drum effects page, selecting all pads, but when you change a parameter, it doesn't seem to affect all of the parameters. So I think it is a pad only thing as such, which is a little bit unfortunate, because it would be useful to be able to change the parameters on your entire program for drums. Say you wanted to get, dial in some lo-fi 12-bit type of grit, or you wanted to change to or you wanted to add some saturation to every single drum sound in your program. It would be nice if there was something that you could do that with all of the pads rather than just on each separate pad, because obviously that can be quite a long process if you have to do it on each separate pad. But if there is a way that I've not found, please comment below, because I would love to know, because it'd be really, really useful. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more mixing, mastering and MPC tutorials and reviews. This is the Crates Motel. My name's Conan. Till next time.